Hey YouTube. So I was thinking about laws that we have in society, and at face value, I can see why they are appealing, why they're useful. I'm pretty sure it's a very useful deterrent for those who would, oh man, I sure wish I could, commit this crime, but I don't want to deal with the jail time or the fines or whatever the case may be. But in a society where, and this is like global society, where there are certain taboos that certain groups of people just get away with. It's almost like, well, then what's the point of having the law? A person could say, oh, well, given that some people are just going to get a free pass for these laws and they can just do whatever they want, you don't want everyone to have that privilege. It was like, well, that's stupid as shit. But what's the argument for that? Anyone should have it. For example, if I were to tell you rich person A and poor person B, they commit the same exact crime, who's more likely to get off? Exactly. And it's just like, well, if that's the case, what's the point of there being a law in the first place? If the amount of money you have can just make it so that what you did can be overlooked, if you want to commit any crime, just be rich, I guess. Like, that's basically, I don't know. It's just like, then who are the laws really for? Because if they're, let's just call them elites, the rich, the powerful, the people who actually make all the decisions behind the scenes, like people that you barely hear, or that you'll hear their cover like up front, like this is the person they are on TV or in a magazine or in an interview or something like that. But then when you get behind the scenes, all these people are doing drugs for off of each other, like dipping their balls in cocaine and sucking them off each other, some crazy shit. I don't know, but you have these elite pedophile rings, and then they get exposed, and then nothing happens. Guarantee you, regular ass people, if they got in trouble over a pedophile ring, they would be thrown in jail, as they should. I just don't see why that's not the case. I mean, of course, you see why, because they got rich. They're rich, wealthy, and powerful, of course. But it's just like, then what's the point? Like, for people, like, I don't know, somebody needs to explain it to me. Somebody who sentences these people, the judge, or like, I would like to sit down and have a conversation. Okay, so let me just give you an action. Action X is illegal, and it causes these harmful things. And I just random person over here, person Y, does action X. Do you think that person should go to jail, or do you think that person should be apprehended or reprimanded for the things that they've done? If your answer is yes, it shouldn't matter at that point where it's like, oh well, how much money do they have in their bank account? That doesn't fucking matter. Why does it? Like you would you think of that? Like imagine like found out someone in your family was sexually assaulted, and then you find out the person got off because they just have a lot of money, and you will look at that just like, what the fuck? And you can this can be extrapolated to a number of things, like drugs, for instance. Like you look at the pharmaceutical company, people die every day from prescription drugs, get addicted to these drugs that pharmacists and doctors give out to people. You have ads on TV. Ask your doctor about, why the fuck are you asking your doctor about that? Shouldn't the doctor know the best thing for you? Oh, because it's against the law uh, for something. If your doctor just outright offers you something like that, you have to ask them first, get the idea, so that way it's kind of like you did it to yourself in a way, which is stupid. Because either way, like imagine the kid, hey mom and dad, can I do this? And it's like, well, the kid asked for it. It's not like it's up to my proper judgment to tell them that they couldn't have it or it'd be unsafe for them to have it. So I'm off the hook. It's just fucking stupid. So you got people going to jail. In my personal opinion, all drugs should be legal. And I know that's probably like ridiculous to some people, but my thing is this: who are you to tell me what I can and cannot put into my own body? You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, well, you don't want heroin being legal because people will do it and they die. Well, people already do it and they die. And it stigmatizes the lifestyle. And of course, I'm not saying it's glamorous, but I'm saying you look at a drug addict, and it's the first thing you think. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but one of the first things people can think of is, oh, look at this dangerous person. Look at this criminal. Look at this disgusting dreg of society. And it's just like, or look at this person that was down on their luck, thought this temporary thing to make them feel better would make them feel better, and they were probably right in the moment, but then it led to a series of bad decisions and an addiction. You, like, people, not every person on drugs is like a person that's like a terrible person. Some people just actually need help. And if there weren't certain things in society set up for people to fail, then perhaps people wouldn't turn to drugs in such a way. And that's not, of course, that's not speaking for everybody. There are people who just like, I just want to do it because I want to do it, which is fine. But what my original point is, people out here can shove McDonald's in their mouth, pound after pound after pound of McDonald's, get into diabetes, heart attacks, all this bad stuff. People can smoke cigarettes all day, every day, get lung cancer, get oral cancer, like all the like. Just like if the decision was we need to make these things illegal, why? Because people are dying. Okay, well, people die off of everything. You're not going to make everything illegal, so you need something a little bit more than that. Okay, because these things are addictive. Sugar is addictive, more addictive than Coke. So are you going to ban sugar? Are you going to make sugar illegal? No, there's a certain level of personal responsibility that people not impose, that people allow people free range to be like, look, you can do this action, but it will result in your death, it will result in your harm. So we're going to put things in place to stop you, but other things that would be equally harmful or more harmful, we're not going to do that. So it seems kind of arbitrary. Like, why is marijuana a Schedule 1 substance? It's on the same level as meth. Do you even if you don't think marijuana should be legal, are you going to sit here and tell me that meth and marijuana are on the same level, even close to the same level? Are you serious? Go down to Schedule 2. I think Schedule 2 includes coke and heroin. So weed is more dangerous, more harmful than coke and heroin? Like, does that make sense? Like, think about the law, like the mindset of the people who either think these laws are a good idea or aren't pushing for them to be actually changed. And it's just like, what's the intellectual reason for it? Because I can't think of one. I'm not saying there isn't one. I just have not been presented with one. Um, and people like to say, oh, well, back to the laws thing again. Oh, well, if people are high on drugs, they'll do these crimes. Okay, but aren't those crimes already illegal? If someone gets high and breaks into your house, isn't burglar, burglary? That's correct, burglary. Isn't burglary already illegal? So wouldn't they already get in trouble for that? So what's the point of, saying, well, they wouldn't have done it if they weren't on drugs? Okay, sure, but should alcohol be illegal then? Because there are plenty of people who have fits of rage while they're drunk and do things and harm people, harm themselves. Do you think that should be illegal too? I'm just trying to find where is the consistency in all this. First of all, they have groups of people that are just exempt. Like, it doesn't matter if they don't follow the law or not, and they just get away with shit. And then you got the laws that are in place that are just inconsistent, where you'll lock someone away for 10 years for something that didn't even affect anybody else other than themselves. It's almost like locking up people who are gay for engaging in sexual activity with the person they're in a relationship with. Like, it's literally not affecting anybody else, but there was a time where it was illegal or they couldn't have right. Like, what is the reason why? Like, I can't. It just seems like like a lot of these laws, they have to mask the laws that would otherwise be stupid, erroneous, or just failure laws. Like the war on drugs is a failure, absolutely. But they have to have the other laws mixed in, like, oh well, we have homicide being illegal, so of course, right? So it's like they kind of like have the common sense laws where, of course, stealing is wrong, murdering is wrong, or something like that. So that way you can look at the system as a whole and say, look, they got some stuff right. They probably have the best interest in the society. No, they fucking don't. Like, there's benefits for certain laws everywhere, and it's not necessarily benefits to society. Like jail in general should only be for people who are a danger to society. So if you have a parking ticket and you didn't pay it, why should you be in jail? I understand there are consequences, but why should those consequences include jail? And think about the. Let's take that to its logical conclusion. They're in jail for something they didn't pay. Now they don't have a job and they still can't pay you. What did you do to solve the problem there? Oh, right, because it's not actually to solve the problem. The more people that are in jail, the more money y'all get. Right. And then you convince people that we need to be tough on crime. What about all the Wall Street crime? What about all the war crimes that happen in governments throughout human history? And every time people try to explode, you have whistleblowers out here. Like, oh no, those whistleblowers betrayed the country, so we gotta get them. It's just like, but you betrayed humanity when you said, hey, we'll go over here and kill because, I don't know, I don't like the way they live their life. If there are other places that are like sovereign, you don't get to just, of course, this is talking about in terms of the United States, you don't get to just go over there and, well, we're going to spread our democracy so that way y'all can choose who we want to have in power. So we're going to go over there and like blow up places, commit war crimes, like women and children dying. Like it's just crazy to me. Like the people who set wars in place to decide I declare war are never the people actually fighting in the wars. Isn't that crazy? Like, I guarantee you, if you were on the front lines, like, hey, man, if you declare war, you're going to be on that front line. I'm pretty sure a lot of these presidents would be a lot more hesitant. You know what I'm saying? It's like, support our troops until they get back and need medical and psychological assistance. Then, fuck them, right? Anyway, the laws are in place to both protect and oppress and bring in money. And if your government, actually think about this, if your government isn't going to go after you, well, is going to go after you for the same things that they're not going to go after you for other people, then the law is bullshit to begin with. That's what I think. If you know that these people in high places are raping children, they should be in jail, just like Joe Blow down the street who's raping children should be there. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't be that way. And I'm talking about history, the history of all of them. You can, like, people will be on the left like, Donald Trump did this. Well, and people on the right was like, Bill Clinton and Barack. And like, let me tell you something. All these motherfuckers, man. All these motherfuckers are, on some level, have to be aware of the shit that's going on. Now, I'm not just talking about the United States. People in positions of power all over the globe are aware this shit is going on, but their friends are the ones who's doing it. Or they'll pay off the judge or the courts or whatever the case may be, pay off Congress and lawmakers, legislators, pay them off so that way it can be ignored, tucked under a rug. They got the media in their back pockets. The media just says whatever. So it's just like, I'm not saying this is an argument for just do whatever the fuck you want and fuck all else. I'm just saying, like, think about when you see laws in place and which laws are more enforced than others. Think about, okay, what real impact does this have on society? What real impact does this have on my life? Is this actually making people safer, or is this exacerbating the problem? And it's just like, it's I don't know. It's like, I'm I'm shocked by people who wake up in the world and be like, when I look at the government, when I look at the laws in place, they completely have my best interest at heart. And a lot of people don't. Like, of course, we know governments are corrupt and politicians are corrupt. All these people are just out to make money and keep us. And it's like, well, if that's the case, when are a bunch of people going to be like, you know what, yeah, fuck all that? Like, I mean, like millions of people, as many more of us than there are of them, and they know that, which is why in my previous video I was talking about distractions and shit. People can't mobilize when they're distracted. People can't stand up for what's right when you are holding something over their heads. If I won the lottery or some shit and I became a billionaire, I don't. Lotteries never usually get that high, at least not any that I'm aware of. But if I had like $1 billion, what I would do is probably like set up a system where it's like, oh, all you people, let's start here, start in one country at a time. All you people, I'm in the United States. All the people who live here who are tired of this problem, I'm going to pay you. What's your salary? Like 40,000 a year? Yeah. So I'm gonna cover like half your salary, and for like the next couple months, let's just really grind hard to make a change happen. That will be my thing, because just like people like, oh well, I can't leave my job because I need the money, I need the insurance, and like they're just holding so much shit over you to where you won't speak up about anything. Fuck these people who are making these laws, who either don't care about the average person, which a lot of laws, especially economically based laws, don't care about the average person. Fuck all these people who are aware of these pedophile rings, these drug rings, purposely bring them into communities to destroy people, and they're not doing anything about it, and say, well, those people are dangerous, they're on drugs. Okay, but you're bringing the drugs in. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Were they dangerous before the drugs? No. Okay, so you, I don't know, it's like giving a gun to a child. I mean, look, he's got a gun. What am I supposed to do? It's like, you gave him the fucking gun. Anyway, I don't want this to be too long, but just think about the rules that society has in place. Think about what's actually benefiting people, what's actually making a better, that actually significant, making a better impact on your life and the lives of you and your loved ones and the general community as a whole. And ask yourself, who is this serving? Is this serving everyday people, or do I have more in common with these everyday people, the people that I've been told to demonize, the people I've been told to look down upon, by the people who are actually committing worse crimes on a far grander scale than any one of us regular individual people would ever commit? Just think about that. Catch y'all later.